like the idea that a voice can just go somewhere uninvited, like a dirty thought in a nice, clean mind.
Welcome back, everybody. I am Jay. This is Real Talk. We're here with a special guest, C.M.K. Proph. And
yeah, what's going on, man?
Yeah, thank you so much for giving us your time.
No problem. I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, so I'm just going to start out like I heard SK bumping your shit on Facebook, and I had to find out who you were and talk to you. Do you know SK, or was he just playing your music?
Oh no. That's my peoples. We collaborated a couple times and whatnot. So, and we probably got some more future collaborations coming. Me and him, actually, we got plans to do a whole project where I'm producing it and he's rapping on it. So, you know what I mean? And we'll see how that goes. But, you know, SK got a lot going on for himself as well. So,
well, shout out to SK. You know, I love SK. SK's music be bumping in my car all the time.
He's dope. He's dope.
Oh, yes. Before we get into anything else, though, I want people to hear some of your music. So I'm going to drop 8, 10, 12 for everybody, and then we'll talk about it a little bit afterwards.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yo, Dre.
C.M.K. Chromie King. When they let shoot, white egg get roast like breadfruit. Don't give me no blood clot. Yo. When they let shoot, white egg get roast like breadfruit. Don't give me no blood clot excuse. Bout in my picnic without a dead you. Don't play with big people and way. My one lay down in a bush with the eagle a pray. Drive up in a black real on a spray. Young only survive cause the trees in the way. You don't know I said the kids that do the killing. Them now got hesitate, them always willing. You coulda 8, coulda 10, coulda 12. Me was still singing, them as the hell. You don't know I said the kids that do the killing. Them now got hesitate, them always willing. You coulda 8, coulda 10, coulda 12. Yeah, I get the same number of shells. Me no care about your age. Give so much shot, it sound like a gun range. So no play with me, don't stay with me. I know sometime take every day with me. Give me vex if you want to. Your idiot friend soon gone too. Me no bar gun, who should belong to? When I find out that you see a gun too. The same back in the days. At them same kids that shoot off strays. Them have enough shoes and rage. I love emulate the gangster way. The same back in the days. At them same kids that shoot off strays. Them have enough shoes and rage. I love emulate the gangster way. You don't know I said the kids that do the killing. Them now got hesitate, them always willing. You coulda 8, coulda 10, coulda 12. Me was still singing young as the hell. You don't know I said the kids that do the killing. Them now got hesitate, them always willing. You coulda 8, coulda 10, coulda 12. Yeah, I get the same number of shells.
All right, man. So I went through your shit on YouTube, and anybody who wants to hear more of his music, I will drop the link in the description so you'll be able to go over there and find all of his music. My wife and I were listening to you in the car the other day because I was trying to get more familiar with your music. Man, you got some bangers, bro.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
So you told me a little bit, but tell everybody a little bit about how you threw this joint together.
Well, so like, just so everybody know my background, both of my parents are from Jamaica, so like switching the lingo to patois and all of that it come fairly easy for me. So I kind of wanted to incorporate that into the music more. I've always done it, like since even as a kid doing music. Every now and then I would, like if I put a project out, I'd have one song on there that, you know, was kind of dance hall-ish kind of, you know what I mean, or that sort of flavor. So now I just decided I wanted to kind of go all in and do a whole project. And when I did, I basically wrote the whole project, recorded it myself, mixed it myself, everything, put it together in a matter of, I think it was about 3 or 4 days, something like that. It was quick. It was just flowing. I just was writing. I just locked in, you know what I mean? It didn't come out the studio for, you know, about 3 or 4 days and just knocked it out and came out fire. And now I'm working on another project as well. That project is called Passport to Paradise. If anybody want to check it out, it's definitely it's me over some of your favorite dancehall remix and whatnot, and doing it that way. And so yeah, right now I'm working on a couple other projects as well. So things is moving. Like we got this project. I haven't put the name on it yet, but it's another dancehall vibe. Yeah, so I'm kind of stepping out of the rap realm. Like people mostly know me for the rapping and everything, and that's cool. But I feel a little more of opportunity to come my way going in this lane. It's a little less saturated as far as in the style that I do it. You know what I mean? You have dancehall artists, a lot of them, but you know they just Jamaican dancehall artists. They don't really like a lot of their songs are hard for consumers to get because the lingo is so hard, and it's a little softer with me doing it, being that I was born and raised out here. So you know, just trying to incorporate all the different cultures that I've been blessed to kind of be around and embody.
Yeah, it was. So I was telling one of my buddies about your music. I was telling him to go check it out, and he's like, "Well, kind of tell me, like, what's it kind of like?" And I said, "I don't even know how to explain how he does it." I said, "But he's like Sean Kingston, but harder."
Funny that you say that. His the executive he was signed to was a good friend of mine. But yeah, no, just really like to describe my music is you can't really put me in a box. Like me, I'm a producer as well. I make beats out from scratch. You know what I mean? I'm a composer. Like it's different. I'm not just like a rap artist or like some guy that's just jumping on the internet throwing 16 bars out there and all of that. Like I can do all of that. You know what I mean? But I'm a songwriter too. So, you know, I've been blessed to work with other artists in the studio and craft records for them. And, you know, I'm just trying to get more into that world as well. So, like, people don't know when I first moved to Atlanta, I was a teenager. I came out here to be an artist, but I started learning the business and I signed an artist by the name, well, I don't want to get into the name because I'm not really doing business with him anymore. But at that time, I signed a few artists, a few songwriters and producers, and I went and got a deal for him at Universal Motown through Sylvia Rome. And when she was over there. So, you know, like I've had a lot of experience on the behind the scenes things. And that's pretty much why my artist side has been kind of on the back burner because, you know, when you're responsible for other people's futures as well, you kind of got to put the focus behind them, especially when they're giving up a percentage of their earnings, you know what I mean, in hopes that you get them to that next level. So, you know, that's what I was doing for the last few years, really behind the scenes. You know, we got to work with the Marleys, we got to work with Akon, we got to work with Fergie, Prince Royce, a bunch of people. So, you know, I was a part of a management team that was really, you know, making waves. And then I just kind of got to a point where I couldn't keep suppressing my artist side, and I wanted to step back into that creative mode more so for myself and what my story is, and you know, coming up out of Hartford, Connecticut, and you know, just the kind of challenges we face. You know what I mean? Like we come from some real gutter type, you know, surroundings in a sense. You know, I'm sure there's places that's worse, but it's pretty bad. You know what I mean? For the people that come up out of that, you know, like I've had to deal with certain traumas and whatnot, like my brother getting killed and you know that sort of thing, and just try to put that in the music, incorporate it in that way. You know, we find a positive way to kind of deal with the trauma that comes with some of the stuff that we deal with growing up out there.
So that joint that SK was playing, was that Killer Hartford? Do I got that wrong?
No, that was I think he was playing this little freestyle I did over this there's a girl out here in Atlanta named Amaretta that has a record called Not Atlanta, where she's basically talking about how Gwinnett's not Atlanta, Decatur's not Atlanta, all these different places that like, you know, as when you don't live in Atlanta, you kind of think all these rappers that are coming out come from Atlanta, but they really come from all over Georgia, but they all seem to rep, you know, the city because that's what's popular and that's what's branded. You know what I mean? So she kind of threw some shots saying what's not Atlanta. And so, you know, I'm looking at it like, well, growing up in Hartford, it's kind of similar. You got a lot of people who, you know, when they go out of town, they say, oh, well, I'm from Hartford. But nah, you're from Willimantic. You're from, you know, Manchester. You're from Bloomfield or wherever you might be from. But it's like people want to claim Hartford because it has that reputation, and really the reputation isn't anything positive. But you know, like when you got murder attached to your city, and you know they call it homicide Hartford. That's what that's what it's branded as now. You know, it's like you got to kind of look at it like it's sad, but people kind of look at it like it's cool. Like yeah, I'm from the gut. You know what I mean? I'm from that real shit. You know that struggle. You know what I mean? But really, a lot of people don't really come from that direct struggle. They on the outskirts, or they don't have to deal with the reality of like walking up to the street to the corner store and shots flying at you or something crazy. You know what I mean? Just whatever people have to deal with in some of these inner city ghettos. So, you kind of like, it's just a little fun shot. It's nothing serious. Like, I rep Connecticut at the end of the day. I don't care where you come from out there. You could come from Farmington or Glastonbury for all I care. You know what I mean? Like, I rep Connecticut as a whole. But yeah, Hartford more specifically because that's where made me, and that's what raised me, and that's what kind of gave me all my trials and tribulations that put me in the position to have content to even write about. You know what I mean? And that's another thing. Like a lot of artists out here, they can rap, they're good, and I salute them, but they don't have a story, or they haven't been through nothing. They don't really have anything to pull the listener in to want to hear more than just a record, from them, and really lock into them. So, that's what I'm hoping, I'll be able to bring to the table with some of what I got going on, and just the work that I'm putting in, because it's been a long time coming. Like nothing happens for me overnight. Like everything I've been doing has been 15, 20 plus years, doing this. So, I've had my victories, and I've had my my failures in this thing. So really, like for me, this lane that I'm in now with the dancehall and reggae is like it's more of a fun lane for me. I could still do the street records with it, but I like to do a lot of the more club records and pop records and stuff for the women and that sort of thing. But we still got to keep it street just because that's where we come from, and we really actually was on them streets. It's not like a facade or some sort of like gimmick or just trying to fall in line with everybody else's story. Like, oh yeah, we come from the hood. Like, nah, we really like it's people that can say this, that, the third, or that was there, that and then there's people that was there that's no longer here to even put their side out there. So just trying to basically bring some light to the music and get things rolling. We doing a lot. I got producers out here that are working, and people have booking sessions with us, and so we're just trying to get placements and songwriting. Like I'm pimping my pen for everything it's worth. I do music because I love to do it as an artist, but I definitely want to monetize my pen. I'm not in it to just do it for the love. Like some people, that's cool. I'm gonna do music regardless because I love it, whether I become whoever I'm trying to be or not. But at the same time, shit, man, bills got to get paid. And I seen people that was eating out the garbage turning into millionaires, pimping their pen. So that's where I'm at with it.
So I know, like, okay, so I'm from the Midwest. I've lived in Chicago, Wisconsin area my whole life. And it's like most people from the Midwest, when they hear Hartford, they think, oh, high taxes, Connecticut, rich white lacrosse players. They don't realize, but not only from Hartford, Atlanta don't play either, but there is such a huge music scene in Atlanta. So was that a big reason for you going to Atlanta, because the hip hop scene out there is crazy?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's funny how things work out, and like just thoughts and manifestation and that sort of thing. Like when I first was thinking about moving to Atlanta, I was dealing with my high school sweetheart at the time. She had a college tour where she was hitting different cities and whatnot, and she had an invite to, I guess, to see Emory out there in Georgia. So I went with her, and when I was out there, I was just looking around like, man, it's a beautiful city. Like this felt like somewhere I need to be. Like it felt like hope was out there, and like opportunity, and just like I know if I'm doing music and I really want to take it seriously, I need to be in either New York, LA, or Atlanta. You know what I mean? Maybe Miami and Houston, maybe, but you know what I mean, more so those three places. So like I really wanted to be down here. And funny enough, she happened to be dealing with somebody, or her sister happened to be dealing with a guy that was plugged in. He was A&R for like Capone and Noriega and like those type of artists, Tragedy, Gaddafi, and them. And so I put an album out. He wasn't really paying me much mind, even though I was dating his girl's sister. But I put a project out in Hartford called The Most Official, and it got to him through somebody else, and he realized it was me, and he sent it to Sam Sneed, who's in Atlanta at the time. Sam Sneed is a producer that was signed to Death Row Records, and did a lot of work with Dr. Dre. Still does a lot of stuff. He did I'm Curious for Tony Ayo, and like I'll Do Anything for Jay-Z, 50 Cent, I Smell Pussy. He did a bunch of shit. So yeah, he heard my stuff, and he reached out and told me like if you could stand on your own too, you know what I mean, definitely come out here and let's work. And so, at 17, I moved out here. I had basically graduated high school, gave my mom the diploma, and was living in Atlanta 2 weeks later. And I didn't come out here to do school. And like I never did any college or nothing against that, but it didn't really seem like it was something that was necessary for the path I was trying to take. So, I literally came out here just to bust my ass and grind for this music. And it's, even if I don't make millions of dollars off of this, it's already saved my life just because it gave me an opportunity to leave my city. You know what I mean? And at the time, my city was really turned up, really, really turned up. You know, I had friends going to prison for life sentences, and you know, my brother was in and out of prison before he got killed. You know, it was just a lot of hectic stuff going on, and because of who my brother was, a lot of that was falling on me. So, you know, I was able to kind of have a different outlet and a almost like a refresh button. You know what I mean? I just started it back over from scratch, and it was crazy, man. I've done a lot of things, like even like down to like I started a website called spityourgame.com. This is long before World Stars and the, you know what I mean, Vlad TVs was popular. But me and my business, I had two business partners. One of them was the guy that started kicksonfire.com, and the other one was a guy that's managed 2 Chainz now, you know, but he wasn't managing 2 Chainz at that time. I was his introduction into the business. So, you know, brought him around a lot of people, and we built that up, and you know, we ended up going our separate ways on that. So I've been dibbling dabbling trying to get in this game all kind of ways, man. Like I've never really just done music or just been a rapper. Like I've always figured like it's more than one way to skin a cat, you know what I mean? So I just try to put myself in a position to eat and to have opportunities come my way where I can advance my career, because everybody's not going to go on to be a 50 Cent or a goddamn, you know, Sean Paul or whoever, you know what I mean? Like you if you can get to a point where you're monetizing your music and, you know, you're making at least a decent salary off of it to where, you know, you don't have to work in 9 to 5s anymore, then I feel like you already made it and you're successful, you know what I mean? Because you're living off of what you love to do. And that's really what it's about in the end.
No, for sure.
Me, at least.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. So when you hit the studio, and not as like, say, the artist going in, when you're the producer, when you're making the beats, like, what is that process like? Like, I always wondered, like, do you hear something in your head and then you just try to go record it, or how does that work?
For me, like a lot of the production I've done for the majority of, you know, my producing years has been sampling and like that sort of thing. I've always been a dig in the crates. I used to go to record stores all the time and try to find rare records, and you know, I come up around real producers, like legendary people who done did some real work, and you know, they have the plaques on the walls to prove they, you know, their commitment to the game. So it's like, for me, I just try to soak up as much from them. So when I'm making a beat, it just depends how I'm going into it. Sometimes I might start with the drums first and then start playing music around it. Sometimes I might start with a sample and play around the sample, take the sample completely out of it at that point. You know what I mean? I'm just looking for fills, and it just depends on how, you know, it comes. But
is it a different process when you're like, if you're doing it for yourself? Is there sometimes where you come up with the lyrics first and then go to the beat, or is it usually the beat and then the lyrics, or is it go both ways?
I'm gonna be honest. It could be a plethora of ways that it could come. It's like sometimes I might be in the car and I might just hear a note in my head or a melody that might be sounding good to me as far as singing to, or maybe hitting playing it on the keyboard to make it a beat. Sometimes it might be a situation where I'm already knowing the song that I want to do. Or I might do a song over somebody else's record and then want to reproduce it so I can actually, you know, use it to my, you know, for all the advantages that I want without clearing it or whatever, you know what I mean? So it just depends. Every situation is different. And I'm good at, I prefer to work on my own, but I'm good in groups. I'm good in the studio with other people around, you know what I mean? I don't really get intimidated by other artists or whatever the case may be.
Well, being in Atlanta and being such a huge hip hop area, like, does it make it harder or easier to be in Atlanta being a hip hop artist, because there's so many hip hop artists?
That's a good question. Hold on, let me plug this. Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like Atlanta's real cliquish, in the sense that like people come out here and they think their dreams is just gonna, you know, come true and whatnot. And it don't really work like that. You got to really infiltrate people's circles. People that's getting a real bag and has really got the opportunities to help other people get a bag. They're not open to just letting anybody in. You know what I mean? It's a real secret society kind of business. Not saying I'm not getting into all that Illuminati shit. I'm talking about just as far as like, you got to be plugged in. Like there's way more artists than there are people who have relationships that can do something to actually monetize your music. So, you know, like a lot of times executives, they feel themselves, you know what I mean? They feel like the star. They feel, and they probably eating better than the artists in a lot of ways. So, you know, they got a reason to feel the way they feel. But, you know, like like as far as the way I approach music from an executive side, like I feel like, you know, if I'm working for a label and my job is to find talent, then I'm looking for, you know, anybody's talent. It doesn't have to come from me or my camp or any of that sort of thing. You know, I just would extend the opportunity to anybody that I think had the ability to, you know, sell records. But like in Atlanta, you'll notice like a lot of the same producers are on all the projects with all the artists. Like, so if you chasing placements in Atlanta, you got to think most albums might have 15 songs on it, maybe a little more, depending on who the artist is. They got 2 or 3 in-house producers of their own camp that they're actually making money off of by giving them the placement. You know what I mean? So not only are they feeding their people, but they eating off their people because they're signed to their production companies, that sort of thing. So it's a lot of business that goes into play where now you just went from having, you know, maybe 15 slots open on a project to now you down to like 6 or 7, and there's still a lot of big name producers that will actually, you know, sell the album by them being a part of it, you know what I mean? So, or help bring more light and attention to it. So the label will prefer to, you know, work with those type of people. So really, I think for producers, the best bet for them to really get where they're trying to go is develop your own artists. You know what I mean? Get your own people hot and stick with it. And, you know, everybody stay down until they come up. You know, that's the problem though with artists. A lot of time they don't understand the business. I'm just happen to be one of those artists that learned the business. So, you know, through trial and error. And I'm not even gonna sit here and act like I'm some whiz on it. You know what I mean? What I don't know, I go get an entertainment lawyer to explain to me. But you know, like as far as that's concerned, you got people that really like, I don't know. I just feel like if you're gonna be doing the music, you need to learn the business, because if you don't understand it, you think people are screwing you over when they not. You know what I mean? You think certain things should go your way when it shouldn't, or you think certain people should pay for certain things that you should pay for. You know what I mean? But you just don't understand that because you don't really know the business. You think, oh, you know, this guy's managing me, so you know, every time I go to the bar to buy a drink, he should be paying for it. Or every time I'm rolling up a blunt to smoke, that should be his weed that's going in there. Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody has this idea of what the executives that are in their circle or on their team should be doing for them. But, you know, what artists have to understand, and that I understand, is that it takes time, it takes resources. And the more resources everybody pulls in, it'll move faster. But if only one guy got a bag, or if only one guy is the one, you know, funneling all his money through it, then, you know, it's going to move at the speed of his money. You know what I mean? As opposed to if we all came in as a team and put every dime that we got into it, you know what I mean? Which is something I've always done. Like I've invested more money than most people might even make, you know, in their lifetime, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like I've spent a lot of money trying to get where I'm going, and I'm not there yet. But at the same time, I feel it coming, and it's just like I know, you know, everybody says that this gonna be my year and all of that, but you know what I mean? I'm not gonna say it's gonna be my year, but I'm gonna tell you, like a lot of ground is gonna be broken in 2022, and just like a lot of attention is coming on these records. I perform every now and then out here, and it's been a crazy response. So it's like I'm about to start getting that up, my shows up a lot more. I'm plugging in with other people that got movements of their own, like a Fuego Bass. You know what I mean? Shout out to him and his whole team. Them guys doing a lot of great things for the city. With the connection to, you know, BSF and Benny the Butcher and all of them guys. So
shout out Benny the Butcher, big Benny the Butcher fan right here. So yeah,
he's a beast. And you know, and right now, you know, I've been around him for the last few days, and Fuego Bass is definitely a major priority for them and what they're trying to do with the future of, you know, BSF and whatnot. So it's kind of dope to have the type of relationship I got with him, because, you know, we build, we do music and whatnot, and you know, he's another plug and outlet.
Well, you were talking about how like almost you got to like pave your own way, hit your head, learn how to do it. It kind of reminded me of this interview I saw with Little Boozy when he talks about going completely bankrupt before he had to re-get his shit together and figure out how the game worked and do what he's doing now. So that sounds like kind of the same thing. And the question leading from that is, I saw a post you made, and I'm thinking this is kind of what you were talking about, is that everybody else is getting paid more than the artist.
Yeah, well, I mean, I look at companies like Spotify and just these music streaming companies where the person that owns it is a billionaire, you know what I mean, and has never put a hi-hat on a beat, has never wrote a lyric to a song. And you know, these people, like, they come in and, you know, they really monetize our music and our streams. You want to pay us 0.00000000001 of a penny, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, you sitting on yachts and big mansions and living a lifestyle. And you know, hey, I'm not hating, because you created whatever you created and it worked. But at the same time, if that's how you paying people, then I gotta seriously think about when my buzz is growing and my attention is growing. Do I want to even put my music on some of these platforms? Because I'd rather just route everybody to my platform and you get it directly from me, where I'll make more than a penny, or less than a penny, I should say. So it's one of those kind of things where, I don't know, man. It seems like everybody else is making the money, then except for the people that's creative. But that's everything in life. You notice, people typically, the artists, like even painters, they don't make no money while they're alive. They sitting here broken and struggling, and then they get they paintings get famous however they do, and now these paintings going for $100 million, $80 million, like. But that artist probably never knew what it was like to even live a lifestyle like that. You know what I mean? Because that's just how art is. A lot of times, we sacrifice a lot of ourselves and just even our living and our relationships and our marriages and our family life to try to do this. And people don't realize that what it takes, and some people ain't willing to sacrifice that. You know what I mean? Like you got to understand, like some of these times when you do music, you're going to be in the studio 2-3 days straight, might not even get a chance to shower because you're just working. You know what I mean? It's just in and out, boom, boom, boom. Just a lot of work because you're going, you know what you want. And, sometimes women that you're dealing with can't even really handle that type of lifestyle. You know what I mean? And you got to make hard decisions with that type of stuff. So, like you got to really think about, is this the lifestyle you want for yourself? And because it's going to be a lot of money out of your pocket. It's going to be a lot of time that you'll never get back. And it's going to be a lot of people that you would expect to support you because they're your family members or they're your friends or they're your, people you went to school with, and they're not going to do shit for you. And they're not even going to pay something as simple as sharing your music or commenting or hitting a like button. I share people's shit sometimes that I don't even hear it. And I don't even care if it's good or not, because it might help you. Somebody on my page might see it and like it. I might hate it. You know what I mean? If I did take a listen to it, you know what I mean? But either way, if you support me, I'm sharing your shit. If you share my shit, I'm liking your shit. If you like my shit, I'm just one of those types. And I probably do it even if you don't share mine. Because I'm just that type of person. Like, I like to see people that's working get whatever shine they can get out of this. You know what I mean? Because it ain't easy, for sure.
I'm with you. I'm always, we work with other podcasts and other people, and shout out Overtime Hustling. They've always had our back. Street Beef, but like we all try to pull each other up, and it's an amazing thing.
No, for sure.
So I won't keep you all day because I know you got shit to do, but what are we looking for in the future from C.M.K. Proph? Like, what should we keep our eyes open? Everybody make sure you check out his Instagram. I've been dropping that through the show, but so you have it. And I'll have the link to his music down in the description.
For sure. As far as stuff you could look out for, just more music. You're gonna see a lot of placements coming soon. We working with a lot of other people, other songwriters. We're just gonna keep working, man. Like, I don't want to say, oh, I'm gonna have a record deal at the end of the year, because I don't even know if that's what I want right now. You know what I mean? I just more or less want to focus on getting my buzz up, getting more attention on the music, because the music is fire. If you take the time to listen to it, you'll know, like, okay, yeah, this dude got something. You know what I mean? So, but I'm not twisting nobody's arm. I'm not begging nobody to share my shit. Like, if you gravitate towards me naturally in life and the energy is good, just like me and you connected, you heard it, you was like, yo, who is that? And, here we are doing the interview. So, like, that's the type of people I want to work with. I don't want to work with just anybody because they got some sort of opportunity to give me. I'm cool. I'm not no struggling, starving artist. You know what I mean? I'm doing all right in life. You know what I mean? It could always be better, of course, but I'm not out here eating out the garbage the way I feel like I got to just be dealt with any kind of way or any of that kind of thing. So I'm going to take the slow road, you know what I mean? And I'm going to treat it like a marathon. R.I.P. Nipsey, you know what I mean? I'm going to treat it like a marathon and just try to get that rocking, an independent way. And once I build it up to the level I want to, then I may entertain a major offer. And if I do, it's going to have to be real money, because I'm going to make sure I put all the groundwork down to where they can't come at me with no ridiculous offer that, you know what I mean, some shopping money or some shit. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, man. So producing, songwriting, I'm going to keep killing this dance hall lane. I got a project coming out that's going to be, it's gonna be crazy. I got an album with Tragedy Gaddafi on the rap side. We did a whole project together. I'm just sitting on it. But yeah, we got some fire. I got a record with Havoc from Mobb Deep coming out. So, but after that, I'm pretty much wrapping up the rap stuff. Shout out to Sholey. I got him on a record. My boy Wax on a record. Fuego on a record. SK. We about to get back in and work again. But yeah, I'm about to put this project out this rap project, and then I'm just gonna kind of dive into the whole Afrobeats dancehall lane and stick to that, and then the songwriting, and hopefully all of that busts all at the same time. And you know what I mean? Some of these relationships, some of their movements start winning for them, and we all win together. That's why I wanted. That's how I imagined it to be, because that's what made Atlanta pop. Is all these artists that was doing their thing, they was helping each other pipe up by jumping on each other records and all of that. So, you know, that's what I'll be hoping to do with Hartford artists and people from Connecticut. Just keep bringing more light to our state and our conditions. And like you said, you know, people from out of town, they may think Connecticut is one way, but if you smart and you know anything about hers, it's one in every state, man. Like everybody got them areas, you know what I mean? And I'm not even here to
Well, guys, we lost connection. It was great having him on. Make sure you go check out C.M.K. Proph. Make sure you check him out on YouTube. I will drop that link, and I will get you all out of here with his song, Drop Your Guard.
Everything's polluted. The environment, the government, the schools, you name it.
This radio person is the whole problem. Are we going to allow this guy to be heard by anyone who can turn a dial?
You out there? You listening?